Oh my gosh, you guys. I just got finished doing the last video and I happened to go on Google and up pops and just like that writers respond to the Miranda and Steve controversy. And I can't believe this. I have to read this to you because this is absolutely so outrageous. This explanation that they came up with is just terrible. So let's get over to that and just get through it, shall we? Sex and the City fans have had plenty of thoughts. This is in Cosmopolitan, by the way. Have had plenty of thoughts when it comes to HBO reboot and just like that. And one of the biggest topics of conversation has, of course, been Miranda Hobbs' husband, Steve. Fans were very invested in one storyline in particular, which sees Miranda cheating on beloved Steve with Che Diaz. While some viewers were happy, who? What viewers were those? Which viewers were happy to see Miranda exploring her sexuality? Others were less than thrilled about Miranda's treatment of Steve, claiming Steve deserves better. Yeah, well, he does. And I'm sorry, but I don't know anybody except for maybe two people who have commented on my videos, like literally two out of hundreds of you, thousands of you, saying that they liked this storyline. And I don't think it's fair to compare this tiny minority of people who like this to the vast majority of fans. Do you? Do you think that's fair to make it sound like these are even somehow, that some people like it and some people hate it? No, 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 like everyone hates it and a very small minority of people who are probably friends with Samantha Irby are the only people who like this. Now, two and just like that writers Elisa Zaritsky and Julie Rottenberg have responded to backlash against the Miranda Steve story, explaining their reasons for the controversial plotline. Speaking to Vanity Fair, Zaritsky explained, "We love Steve. We're really invested in the Steveness of him. He's so full of life, and the Steves out there are good guys." Excuse me? Full of life? What is Zaritsky smoking? They have written this man as if he has one foot in in the coffin. Full of life. We've barely heard one sentence out of him, and every time he's on screen, he's going, "Huh? Huh? What? What?" Or screaming about leaving his wallet with the pickle man. Like, what? Full of life. The way they've portrayed this marriage is like a death. You might as well play a death dirge over it. Oh, okay, I'm going to try and continue. I'm getting hives. I'm breaking out in hives right now. Rottenberg then added, "But Miranda's journey is representing another reality out there, which a lot of people go through, the reevaluations and transitions in life. Grown couples grow apart, and people come to epiphanies about what their spouse is or isn't fulfilling for them. Miranda's story was very representative of a certain path that a lot of women find themselves on." A lot of women? Like, I know a lot of women. I know a lot of married women. I don't know any women who are exploring their sexuality with non-binary, non-comedic comedians. Do you? I don't know any. Not one. In fact, my husband and I were just commenting on this the other day that we're so thrilled that we don't even have friends who got divorced. Like our friends, all of our friend group, and we know a lot of people who are married, none of them have gotten divorced. They've all been married like 20 years, just like us. And they're all, they're still friends and they're still happy and they're still getting along. Like, no, many women do not go through this. Not in my experience. And if they do, a lot of times when they get divorced, they usually get divorced for another man. Like, I don't know anybody who did this thing, whatever Miranda's doing. I have not seen that happen. And so I think it's really disingenuous of them to say many women. Many? Really? I don't think so. Zaritsky added that the writers didn't set out to make virtuous characters necessarily, saying even morally, generally wonderful people make choices that aren't necessarily admirable or virtuous. She went on to speculate that the criticism of Steve's storyline could be rooted in a lopsided gender issue. You feel angry at her and more protective of him. Well, why wouldn't we be angry at her? What has Steve done to her? He's done nothing to her. Why would we ever be angry at Steve? And it's incredible. Continuing later in the interview, Zaritsky went on, "To me, it falls under the same umbrella of why are we coming back to do this show if it's not going to be different? Creatively, we wanted to see what happened to these women. Where are they? What have they gone through? What are new stories for these women? How are they rooted in the real life experience of women in their 50s? What do women go through?" Those are all valid questions. It's not like those are not valid questions to answer in a new series that are talking about women we knew in their 30s and now we see them in their 50s. Obviously, things would have changed. But everything? Would their characters have changed? Would their the no, it's insane. They would not have changed to the point where they're just throwing away their lives now for a roll in the sack with some person named Che Diaz. Sorry, no. The cringe podcaster woke moment button disaster that is that character. Sorry, don't buy it. If you were going to have a cheating story with Miranda, it would only make sense to have her cheat with a man. She is straight. She isn't a lesbian. They did that in episode 3 of season 1, where she tried kissing a woman, didn't work out, didn't like it. And she had a robust history with men. The idea that I'm supposed to believe that Miranda Hobbs just morphed into Cynthia Nixon, yeah, I don't buy it. I just don't. Rottenberg added, if we were going to come back, let's come back and cover what we are really experiencing in our own lives and our friends' lives, although that's sometimes not as much fun. So they admit that we're not having any fun. And I want to know what's going on in their friends' lives, because my friends' lives, that's not happening in my friends' lives. I don't know anybody who's throwing away their family and their marriage for a non-binary, unfunny comedian. I don't know anyone who's doing that. Maybe I'm just not in with the hip and in crowd, but I don't know anyone who's doing that. And this show was very fun. And if you're going to come back and not give us very much fun, then you need to be prepared for the criticism you're going to get, and you're going to get it in spades. All right, I'm going to try. I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying. Breathe. Yoga breaths. Everybody in and out. Release. However, the writers add they've had positive responses to the Miranda Steve story. Liars. Quoting viewers, thank God, please, what's taking so long? Get out of there. You're in a loveless marriage. Oh, please. I don't believe them. Do you believe them? You all know you. We've all been talking to one another over this tragedy that is this series. And is anyone saying that they're just, oh, thank God for Che Diaz? Come on. They're gaslighting us in real time. Do you notice that Cosmopolitan has not spent any time looking for the criticism and putting those quotes in? Do you notice how Cosmo is not quoting me or Real Housewives recaps? How come they're not quoting Jen here? How come they're not quoting all of our thousands of comments that talk about how much they hate this pairing up? How come they're finding the one person who said, thank God, please, what's taking so long? Get out of there. You're in a loveless marriage. Where are the critiques, Cosmo? Teasing what's to come later in the series, Zaritsky touched on how Steve is feeling about the situation, revealing, you're going to get that scene. Intriguing. Yeah, for sure. What's more, it seems that the crew were fully aware of the storyline's potential controversy. Of course they were. With the writers revealing that the crew members could choose Team Steve or Team Miranda pins, with David Eigenberg hilariously opting for Miranda. The next episode can't come soon enough. Oh, God. The end of this series cannot come soon enough. And I think it's crazy that they have done this and that they're trying to gaslight us into thinking that it's equally split between people who are pro Steve and Miranda and against Steve and Miranda. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. Look at the feedback. This is a perfect example of real-time gaslighting, you guys. Real-time gaslighting happening right now to you through the mainstream press, through Cosmopolitan. And they do this all the time, by the way. It's not just with this show. Keep your eyes open for this in other issues. They will gaslight you. When you hear people talking about an issue and you feel and everyone's kind of in agreement, and then you see the exact opposite on the news, just remember what I said here. You're being gaslighted. These people get together and they have a narrative they want to push, and they will push it. And it doesn't matter what your eyes see. It doesn't matter what your ears hear. They're going to tell you that the sky is green and that water isn't wet. And they're going to force you to try to believe that. And it doesn't matter what the topic is. It's anything. Look around at this COVID stuff. It's the same thing. Everybody knows that masks don't protect you, but masks protect you. Like, even the CDC says the mask can't protect you, but today they're out there saying, "Oh, yes, masks will protect you." I mean, come on. I mean, it's just, and if you don't like that example, there are a million other examples. You don't have to take that one, but there are a million other examples of the media pushing things on you that you know is not true, and you know they're gaslight you. Just keep your eyes open, because these people do it constantly, and this is a perfect example of them doing it. I am so hot under the collar right now. I'm sweating. I'm actually sweating, because I hate it when they do this. I hate when they push this kind of stuff on us, and they want us to believe that what we think is not valid, and what we see is not valid, and we're the ones who are wrong, is what they're telling you. You're wrong that you don't like what we did to your characters. You're the problem, not us, not the writers. We're not the problem, it's you. They're going to keep this up. They're going to keep this up until everyone hates them for the rest of their lives. But you know what? Whatever. I mean, that's the choice they make. Dang it. It's just getting worse and worse every day, isn't it? All right. Take care, everybody.